Dimitri. Emil. Hey, buddy. We've been working on it.
Hello, everyone. Please take your seats so we can start. Can you please, everyone, sit? Okay, I guess we're ready to start the council meeting already by opening agenda point 1, official opening of the council meeting. Once again, I'll be happy to welcome everyone in Belgrade and with the proud to stay today here. My name is my co-boardies for the 64th council meeting of Belgrade. I'm really happy here despite all of those situations world. I'm proud that the team, that's what's happening together. Our network are affected and others by war, but we Belarus, Greece, Serbia, and much more. All of us have friends in those countries, and I hope that that's something we will stay permanent in this team. It never matters where you come from or what your nationality is. So let's keep it this way. But what will we bring? Council meeting is the most important event of our network. We're going to have activists presenting their work. We're going to share updates. We're going to bring new ideas. We're going to elect new generation of leaders and the workers we're going to work the next year. So, hereby I'd like to talk to delegates. Guys, you're here to represent your local groups. It's an honor. So, everything you say, when you vote, do it on behalf of your local group. There may be some moments when you may be a bit confused with what we're presenting, but don't hesitate to ask questions to our leaders or people who have a bit more knowledge. Besides the General Assembly, we're going to have quite some fun activities for you, cultural activities, working groups, training sessions. Please enjoy them. Because a lot of people are working hard to make this event a reality. I'd like to highlight work of organizers. Thank you guys for making this for us and being able to bring that many people to Serbia, to Belgrade, for us to be together. So enjoy the most, and let's start the council meeting. I close agenda 1.1, official opening of the council meeting, and I open agenda point 2, the ST sum. Agenda point 2, the ST song, and I open agenda point 3, quorum of the council endorsement of votes by proxy. Hello everyone. For the ones that are here for the first time, the quorum is the chair of the council, and I will be calling your local groups, and you will need to show your presence either in song or by saying present. If you are not present in the quorum, your local group might lose their vote for that day. So try to be in time for all the general assemblies. And we start with local group Aachen.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you. For everybody who is not awake yet after this sleep song, welcome from LGI. Thank you.
Thank you. Local group Ankara Bilken. Local group Aveiro. Thank you. And you will be voting for local group Lisbon. Thank you. Local group Barcelona. Thank you. Local group Belgrade. Thank you. Local group Berlin.
I don't see Belgrad. More. Okay, one, two.
Thank you. Local group Braunschweig. And you will be voting for local group Nice. Thank you. Local group Brussels. Thanks for your efficiency. And you will be proxying for local group Lubia. Thank you. Local group Bucharest will be proxied by local group Seville. Local group Budapest.
I say Buddha, say Buddha.
Thank you. Local group Calabria. Thank you. Local group Coimbra. Thank you. Are you the delegates? You will need to sit there. Every delegate has a place in the front. And you will be proxying for local group Nino? Okay, thank you. Local group Darmstadt? Thank you. Local. Thanks for your efficiency. Local group Dortmund? Thank you. Thanks for your efficiency. Local group Eindhoven? Thank you. Local group Famagusta? Thank you. Local group Dance? Thanks for efficiency. Local group Gothenburg? Graz, excuse themselves. Local group Grenoble. Local group Groningen. Thank you. Local group Hamburg. Thank you. Local group Helsinki. Thank you. And you will be proxying for local group Stockholm. Local group Ilmenau. Local group Istanbul Boğaziçi. Local group Istanbul Gildiz. Thank you. Local group İzmir DU. Thank you. Local group İzmir Economy. Thank you. Local group Kaiserslautern. Thank you. Local group Karlsruhe. Thank you. Local group Karlstad. Thanks for your efficiency. Local group Krakow. Thank you. You will be proxying for local group Poznan. Local group Kiev.
I say Budva, you say hey! Budva! Hey! Budva! Budva!
Thank you. Local group Lies. Thank you. Local group Linköping. Local group will be proxied by local group La Peranta. Local group Lyon.
It's AG1! It's AG1! It's AG1!
Thank you. Local group Madrid.
Today is Tuesday! Today is Tuesday! Today is Monday is the finger day! Monday is the finger day! Are you happy? We are happy! I bet my ass you are!
Thank you. Local group Milan. Thank you. Local group Minho will be proxied by local group Coimbra. Local group Minsk will be proxied by local group Bremen. Local group Moscow will be proxied by local group Novi Sad. Local group Munich. Thank you. Local group Novi Sad. Thank Thank Your Excellency. Local group Thank you. Local group Poznan will be proxied by local group Krakow. Local group St. Petersburg. Local group and proxy for local group Bucharest. Can you please talk with your local group about it? Thank you. Local group Zia. Local group Skopje. local group Helsinki, local group for your agency, local group Tampere, thank you. Thanks for your efficiency. Local group Basta. Thank you. Local Okay, let's continue with observer local groups, local Piraeus. Thanks for your efficiency. And guest local group Cartagena. Thanks for your efficiency. Local group Rijeka. Local group Nice. And now we give it a Serno. Yes. Okay. Easter. Thanks for your efficiency. Fawi. Thank you. Local group copy. Okay. Local group Lausanne. Local group Siegen. Local group Zagreb. Local group Rijeka. Okay, I guess that's it. And I close agenda point 3, quorum of council and enlistment of votes by proxy. And I open agenda point 4, election of the chairperson. Assembly. And I ordered to propose Giuseppe Perone from local group Calabria as the chairman.
Hello, good morning. For those lucky enough of you for not having met me yet, my name is Giuseppe Peroni from local group Calabria. I've been active since 2016, and I'm very happy that the board decided to propose me for the role of the chairman for the 64th council meeting of a team from LG Belgrade, of which I just wanted to tell you yesterday it was something amazing. People, you're doing something very special there. Thank you very much. So, just as a little background, as I said, I am a trainer in this team, and I thought to apply for this role because I really like facilitating. I had some experience with it. I like council meeting. This is the 10th I'm doing in a row, and very happy that this is also my 56th, 7th, 58th event in this team yet. Yeah, I'm counting on the old ones, so there are like 20, 25 maybe. So. Don't be too impressed. And for those of you who do not know, the role of the chairman is the person that facilitates the General Assembly and helps with having the GA go smooth, helps the board and you having your voice heard. And it would really be an honor if you would like to have me as the person of this council meeting. And with that, I'll close my very short presentation and I will be open for questions for 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Before we start with questions, are there any more applicants? Okay, let's go with questions. If you have any questions to Giuseppe, you can stand up or okay, I would ask microphone responsibles to bring microphones. Will it be okay for live stream? No, please.
We were not
microphone.
expecting that.
The famous words. Johannes from Vasa.
Johannes who?
Johannes Alder. Are you mentally prepared to give me the platform 58 times this year?
It's gonna be a nice battle, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
Votes against. So the ones who have proxies votes raise 2 sheets.
There is a question.
Organizers, can you please help us out and bring papers to the bullet building? Second for Clifton. Do you have? Okay. Local group Bremen for me. Do you have 2 sets of? Okay. Local group Brussels for Lu. Do you have 2 sets of colored papers? Thank you. Local group Coimbra for Minho. Okay. Local group Helsinki for Stockholm. Local group Krakow for Poznan. Okay. Local group and that's it. Okay guys, now I would like to ask you to vote. Green in favor, yellow to abstain, red. Do you accept the vote?
I do.
Perfect. Close agenda point 4, elections of chairperson of the assembly, and happy to give this to Giuseppe.
Okay, so now we have agenda point number 5, election of the secretaries of the General Assembly, and I would like to ask to the stage Eva, Gina.
And hello everyone, I'm Gina from Budapest. I'm in Iceland since 2019. I was in the local board for 2 years now, and now I'm here to be the secretary of this team.
Hello, my name is Eva. I've been active since 2019, and I'm currently the VP of administration of my little group.
There we go. Are there any other applicants for the role of secretary? I was not expecting that. Okay, right. So we will have 2 more minutes of questions now. If any of you have some questions for lovely applicants as for secretary. Yes. David from local group. Use the
Hi,
microphone.
I'm David from local group. Hello, sorry. Local group, I have a question. How fast are you typing?
Should we show it?
If you think it's a good idea, just
So in 8th grade, my mom forced me to take part in the typing course, and at the end of the course, we had a competition on who could type the most words in 1 minute, and I won 2nd place.
In high school, we had a class for like learning how to type.
I didn't have any class. I didn't take part in activities. I didn't have.
okay. Thank you for your answer.
Any other questions? We only another one up, and I suppose it's Johannes Ali LXIV.
Yeah, we just want to keep them walking, so it's fine. Ole Hangen, LG Berlin here. I have a question, especially for our Berlin member Marlene. Since you don't have your own laptop here, since you broke your newly bought MacBook, is there any problem of you like coping with all the typing stuff, or will it work properly?
My dearest friend Ola, this is very false information. The Apple Store is my MacBook. It is right here. It is
And Johannes in the back.
Johannes LXIV. I have the same question for you that I have for Giuseppe. Are you mentally prepared for me?
I was
Can you
born,
repeat the question? It seems
Are you mentally prepared for me?
I was born mentally prepared for you.
okay, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's enough with questions, and now we'll go with voting. It is the same thing, and we will vote for each of the applicants. So now prepare your sheets, delegates, and we're first gonna vote for Eva. So raise your sheets to vote for Eva, secretaries. All right. Okay, thank you very much. And Eva, do you accept the position? It would have been quite plot twist. Now we're voting for Gina. All right. Thank you very much. Gina, you accept the position. Thank you very much. Now we're voting for Marlene. Okay, thank you very much. Marlene, do you accept the position? They all do. Please, 64 times the motion. All right, so I close agenda point number 5, election of the secretaries of the General Assembly. And I open agenda point number 6, election of the voting committee of the General Assembly. And I call to the stage Joseph and Eduardo. We will vote that as a group, and I would like to hear a short introduction from both of you.
Hi everyone, my name is Eduarda. I'm from LXIV. I'm in my 2nd year of studies and my 2nd year on ST. I started my journal in the 2020 and I joined the last CM spring. It's online, it's really different, but I have a little enthusiasm about the voting committee.
So I'm Josef from LG Berlin, Germany, and I've been a member of my local group for a year and active in a team since this year, and had a lot of fun on different kinds of events. But now I wanted to help being part of the organizational structure behind everything, and it already was a lot of fun for me, preparing the whole event.
and I'm really looking forward to being part of it right now.
Thank you very much. Are there any other applicants for the voting committee? Johannes, don't look at me like that. All right, then we have 2 minutes for questions for them as well. Any questions? Any questions? We have one over there. Yes.
Yeah. Oktay from Digital Economy. My question for Gordon. Can you count on 3?
Yeah, yesterday it worked. So I hope it will. I can do it right now. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can, but I will try. It's like 1, what do you say next? 2, and 3.
Thank you very much. Any other last question? No, because they are satisfied with your performance. That being said, we're voting on the voting committee, so ready your sheets, and yeah, let's go. And it seems by all green. So, voting committee, do you accept the position? Yes?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, very good. And also the voting committee is done. So I close agenda point 6, election of the voting committee of the General Assembly. And agenda point 7, which is of the point, and I call Dasha to stage.
Okay. My favorite activity, by the way. Okay, guys, so what are we changing the agenda today? Let's go. We don't have that many. First of all, for this day, we're going to put agenda point 69 from the last day to the first day, which is council meeting reports, the 66 council meeting reports. Then we're going to change the number of the 38 and 39 agenda points. And the last but not the least, we're changing, fixing the mistake in the name of agenda points 80 from activity rating to activity rating. And that's it.
If any. Yes?
Francisca Trigueiros, LG Porto. Can you clarify what you added an agenda point for council meeting reports? Is it a report of the council meeting or like reports of that are usually done in council meetings and now are online? What do you mean by council meeting report?
So, during the last council meeting, we elected the local group to organize a 66 council. From that, so during this presentation, we can update you guys for about the situation. That's why we also want to do that on the first day.
Did that reply to your question, or do you want to add something?
Sorry, just a clarification. Isn't that a project report as well?
It should be, like, according to the regulations, the project report, yes. Because we don't have local group now organizing council meeting.
Okay, I got it. Sorry.
Very good. Any other questions? I think he doesn't know. Then we go to agenda point number 7, changes of agenda points. And I open agenda point number 8, word of welcome, and I would like to invite Nicola, Maria, and Jovana to the stage for MJ Belgrade.
I'm the question responsible, and now I'm going to tell you how Pigeonhole works. So the purpose of Pigeonhole There you can ask questions from live stream. Yes, also them the questions, and if there is not time, then they can be asked there. And how to use it? Go to that website, pigeonhole.at, and then enter your code over it, and then you will find there the link where to ask. And then sign in with your name and local group, because all anonymous questions will be, and be clear and concise. And also, if you're inappropriate or provocative, those questions will be also. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything else, you can approach me.
Thank you very much. And do we have any question? Yes, we have one on the back.
Hi, Luis Metzger, eligible in Milan.
Can you repeat name and surname?
Luis Metzger, eligible in Milan. Regarding internet connection, is there a possibility that we can pass that on to all the participants? And
can we have an organizer maybe reply to that?
If not, it will be quite difficult to see a pigeonhole.
Can we check that? Yes, we have, and for the next, it will be provided.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. I take it as a no. Thank you very much. So I close agenda point number 9, live stream questions, and I open agenda point number 10, introduction to the council meeting, and I call myself to the stage. Hello, hello. Let's see. I have a presenter that works. No, it's not clear. The idea of this presentation is mostly for the newbies and those that have never attended ASEAN, which would be, I would say, the majority here. And the idea is to understand what are we doing here, how does it work, and why, for example, people should sleep here. Thank you very much. Hello. So the council meeting, it's the statutory meeting of Esteem. We do it every 6 months. What is the General Assembly? Well, we call General Assembly two things. First of all, it's you, the people that are summoned to take decisions on the network. So the board have proposal, you have a proposal, and the whole active people of the network, you have all here. Then we have the secretaries, which are those awesome people right there. They are taking the minutes. They will make sure that everything that happens in the council meeting is recorded. And they would really, really, really love if when you stand up and ask a question, Giuseppe Perrona, local group Calabria, and the question is, etc., etc. Be very clear because they have to hear you and write it down. Then we have me and chairmen in general. So I suppose I need a slide for that. It would be very nice to have it. Nice. Okay. So the chairman, I hinted before, is the person that facilitates the question, your direct discussion, etc., etc. And we'll ask for your name when you say it properly. And yeah, make sure we don't go particular. Remember, we have written that. Oh yes. It means that I will try to make GA as short as possible. Not that we are. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Look at the slide. So, how to make the GA work? I will ask you a couple of things that we will all have to respect in order for it to work properly. The first one is to be on time, clearly. There are a couple reasons for that. One is, well, the obvious one. If other people are here in the morning, then you can as well. The second one, especially for delegates, is if you're not there during the forum of the council, so when you are asked to sit, I cannot vote for the day. So that's very important. Be awake. The reason for that, again, it's quite obvious. Try to stay attentive. I know that sometimes it can happen, especially if you partied very hard the day before. But try to be attentive. That's the whole purpose of you being there. Then ask questions. Don't be scared of it. I don't bite. I'm not even drunk. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, and somebody with a microphone will come to you. Johannes knows it very well. Fine. And just use common sense, honestly. You know, just see what you think is best to do. The usual thing: respectful, polite when people are on the stage and they're presenting. Try not to speak within each other. We're not in a church. We're also trying, you know, to be respectful of people that are on the stage. To the organizers as well, let's help them as much as we can. They're doing an amazing job, and we're not helping them with it. Then the finger rules, for those that don't know it, that's very nice, by the way. So the finger rules is how we ask questions and how we interact. So we have, if you have a new question, you raise 1. I would say, okay, we have a new question. And then, if related to that question, someone else has a comment or a counter question, they raise a 2. What's that? No. Okay. You were getting suspicious. Then a 3 is a technical. For instance, I cannot see the screen. I cannot hear the presenters. Those kind of things. You raise a 3, you give your, what's up, what's going on, I cannot hear the presenter, can you repeat? Yes, and we move on. Then we have clarification, it's a C. Just, yeah, what it sounds like. If you don't get precisely what the presenter is saying, you ask for a clarification, and we ask the presenter to say it again. Then we have bullshit. So if you hear something and you have a fun joke about it, you can do like this. Careful, because it must be funny, otherwise you'll die of cringeness. Yeah? Because everyone will be hearing at you. Yes, do we have one? Let's out. What? So the point is, I was wondering in the last year. Very tasty, just complicated. Okay, that's one. You have some rights in the General Assembly, both as delegates, which are the ones sitting here in the front, and everyone else in the back. Everyone has the right to ask questions, anyone. Same thing goes for raising a motion. A motion is what has to be done, and the council has to decide on it. You raise a motion, and we will present it, and then the council will vote on it, and if it's accepted, then it happens. And it's one of the major ways to change how things go in a team, if asking nicely doesn't work. Then another one is to raise an amendment motion. An amendment, imagine a change in a motion. Somebody raises a motion, and it says, for example, let's start every day at 10 a.m. Don't do it, it won't work. But imagine, let's start every day at 10 a.m. and somebody raises an amendment. Let's make it 10.5. That's an amendment. Then there are some rights that are only for the delegates. The first one is to vote. So every matter you will have to vote. It will be only the delegates, no one else, and there is only one vote per local group. And when some local groups have 2 votes, it's because they're proxying for another local group. So they're voting for 2 local groups. And the other rights is for the secretaries, the voting committee, and you raise your sheets. This is a normal voting. Open voting, you just raise your sheets, and we can see what you voted. If there is, for any reason, some of you being uncomfortable with that, you can require a blind voting, which will take more time, and it will require us to print some paper and vote and do stuff, etc., etc. If it's necessary, you can request it as a delegate. All clear so far? Yes? No? Yes? Yes. Good. Okay. Then a couple of things to remember. As you want of everything we're doing in the GA, just please, when it's time to go vote, we will have voting coffee breaks, for instance. When you go out for a voting coffee break, do not try to influence people to vote what you think is the best. We are not saying out of nowhere, it's As I said, if you're not meeting being the quorum of the council, you cannot vote for that day. So please, everyone, but especially delegates, be on time for the quorum. Yeah, in the event, take care of yourself. It's nice to get dry chicks, etc., but no one likes to bring you home. We will like it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And also we'll have a couple of minutes for questions, if you have any. Never mind, sorry. A couple of things that I've been told to remind you. Here in this room, you can bring and drink water. You cannot bring food, nor eat what you eat, but got it. So make sure not to bring anything. I suppose it's complicated to get rooms and all those things. So let's not make trouble for children. Let's just not bring food. Amendment motion. Okay, I will in a moment. I'll just say another couple of things and then I'll catch it. So this thing about food and about punishments, in a thing there is this tradition of sin, but don't worry for those that have never heard of it. So basically all of you have a name tag, and if you lose it around somewhere, it can be stolen by someone else, they will bring it to us, and then you will receive a punishment. Same with the flags and all. It's a fun game. Just make sure, hey people, listen to me. Just make sure that when you're stealing those fun things, you don't do it from bags, from the rooms, from the neck of people, and stuff like this. Okay, let's keep it clean. And yeah, anything else, Boris? You remember anything else you'd like to add? Yes? An announcement for the voters, please.
Hello. Some days ago, all of the local groups received an email with the Google Forms for, so we need to collect your emails for the voting sheets. And there are some local groups who didn't fill them yet. So in the break, please fill the voting sheet, fill Google Form with your emails that you vote for the proxies as well, and be sure that everything is completed so we can sign the votes accordingly.
And to go back to the clarification you were asking, a motion is a request to do, for example, to change something. It can be anything. It can be agenda point, it can be how service work, it can be our social media works. In CR Izmir 2017, there was one motion that says, let's unite all of our social pages into one. Let's not have the social page for Business Booster, for Europe 3D. Let's have one esteem page. It was proposed, it was voted green, and then we deleted all of the pages and we only kept one. This is a motion. What, sorry? Yeah, anything. And the amendment in this example would have been if we say, yeah, but the amendment would be, yeah, but let's keep services pages. So we close all the community pages, but we keep the services open. So we have the Steam one, and then we have all the services, like Europe 3D and Vision, those we keep their pages. So it's a modification to the request. Amendment is a modification to the request, and the motion is the request itself. Let's put it like this. Okay. Any other questions? Yes? Francisco?
Francisco Trigueiros, LG Board. Can you please verify how can we actually propose a motion in practice or
Yes.
an amendment?
You can come to the board, and we have some papers that you will have to fill. In this paper, you will have to write the motion, and it has to be written very correctly, legally, let's say. And after this is done, and it's approved, and it's written correctly, and also I would say a wild amount of time is not needed to have a motion. The board will just say, yeah, let's do it anyway. So just approach the board and see if the motion is needed, and if it's needed, then we have papers, you fill them in, and we have Atu first from the back, from Max. Francisca, did I reply to your question? Okay. We'll take only those ones people because we're a bit tight still.
Max from Eindhoven, Baxter from Eindhoven, maybe also bit of verification, but you really have to go to the board. Just if you set up a motion, that's fine. However, please go to the board before you raise a motion, because that's way better to do it. It's better for the board, it's better for us. But if you want to raise a motion, you can all just stand up and raise a motion. Legally, that's all allowed. Just clarification.
It's more you have to feel and stuff like this. But as I said, stand up, raise a motion, and then we see how to proceed from there. In any case, you will have your motion asked if necessary. Okay, we're not having any more questions. I'm sorry. So we have first. No. From you two, yes, because you were already standing. Yes, we have two first, and then another one from Francisco.
Hi, I'm David, and this is Bill. I have just a quick question. Should we approach one person, like complete person of the board, or just any member of the board for the raising a motion?
Preferences? President.
Okay, thank you.
Very well. Okay,
Yes, Francisco Trigueiros, LG Porto. I think it would be nice if you also could explain what the vote of intention.
The vote of intention is, let's say, if you say, let's close all of the social media channels of Steam and have only one, that's a motion, it's raised, it's green, and then we delete everyone except the one channel. A vote of intention is instead, the board says, okay, we will do it. So it's like saying, it's like you, the GA says, we want this to happen. And then it's up to the board to do it. It's not, let's say, mandatory for them to do it. It's like the GA wants it, the council wants it, and then it's up to them. With a motion instead, they have to do it. A vote of intention is more of like, that's what we want. Can you do it? And leave some more freedom to the board to decide if in the end there is a reason not to. Clear? Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, Johannes. Oh, technical. Never mind. Please. A microphone for Johannes. You can have your own.
Johannes LXIV, I will ask the organizers to share the access to internet some other way than through the internet. If that's okay.
The organizers are nodding and raising a thumb up. Okay, thank you very much. This is it. Yes. Another technical from the organizer. I think this one.
Yeah, I would also like to some announcement. So you all have a bottle of waters right now, but because we want to save, like, use as less as can plastic, please save this bottle day and not. I mean, you can fill it again without like I don't know the word, but yeah, because water in Serbia is drinkable, and we recommend that because we want to save like plastic. And every day you will get new bottle, but you know, like during the day, please do it like that. I hope that's okay.
Thank you. Okay, so agenda point number 10, introduction of the council meeting. And agenda point 11, approval of the minutes for the 63rd council meeting of Esteem, and I call Nicolina to the stage. Yes.
So, in this council meeting, we will vote on the minutes from the previous council meeting, the LXIV council meeting in Seville. So, yes, according to the statutes of the team, every council meeting, every general assembly need to be recorded, and then the text will be published and voted on. And then we publish them a few days before. You can find the document with this QR code and you can check it out. And then in the lunch break we will have the closed voting for it. And yes, I would like to thank the secretaries, João, Aisenur, Gabriela and Tomas.
All right. Then we have a couple of questions. If anyone has any questions? Okay, then. 10:55. Okay, people. Oh, technical. Technical. Yeah. Are those
What is in Telegram group and channel, but nobody has one. So,
Alright, okay, thank you, thank you.
Oh, in the break it will be sorted out, the Wi-Fi. Technical again.
It's actually more after we don't allow the food,
Yes.
is it okay with coffee or other kind of fluid?
Organizers? No, only water. Only water. Another technical. Pokemon, we have to collect them all.
Yeah, Karina Petrova, LXIV. So my first problem said that it's hard to follow streamline because it's like some problem with like it's.
Can you get what's the problem for them and say that to the responsible for it? To understand what's the problem and why is it difficult to fix? Thank you very much. Another two technicals. That's it. Happy with it.
To St. Petersburg connection to internet doesn't work with the passport, so maybe after can
For anything that can we fix it in the break, please approach organizers will fix it. We had never mind, it was the same. Okay. Any other you have to run and be there at 10:55. Please be on time. 10:55.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Iya, selanjutnya iya, iya dong, iya dong. Iya, iya dong. Iya, iya dong. Iya, iya, iya, tadi iya, tadi iya dong, iya dong, iya dong, iya dong. Oke. Iya, iya, iya dong, iya dong. Jedna treba politika, peto kapsa. Trojka, ne žučko, jedva, test. Jedva, ali smo niski to.
Da, idee di cosa.
Jesmo radili smo fontanu. Ja, fontanu smo radili smo ja mislim.
Playing the bars and windows. I would have ready to run my
Bonito. Good. Bonito. Bonito.
I'm in.
pretty same. But while doing this, there are four people in that we are 26 counties, and yeah, this is what is as many the people from different countries, and we think yeah, this is one of our reasons. Continue with the next one, and the people around us. Even if we fail in the end, we always aim to develop ourselves. And the third one is participation. So we are, as I said, very much welcome everyone to every activity in ST, and yeah, it is also one of the core values of ST. And finally, always a we're here. The whole organization structure. So we talk it's structured of many different parts. At first, yeah, for most of us, it might be a bit complicated to understand, but I hope with the presentation it will make it easier for you. So, as you can see here, structure consists of different parts, including the board. It's just contact this team, so it's part of OST, and then they are connected through a just and so yeah, I mentioned about the exhibition, and I'm here to provide a lot of opportunity for young students, personally and professionally, and that's why we have 4 areas for departments. So we have academic, career, intercultural, and cultural departments. And yeah, what do we do with departments? We have sources inside of departments, and they are the we have and we have 3 task groups at the moment actively working, and they are event quality, grants, and local group support system task groups. Then we have a project, which is the Steam magazine. Projects have their own time span and their budget, and yeah, you will be seeing more details about magazine later on as well. Then here also I would like to mention there are some more other new projects that popped up during the year, but they don't have a place right now in the STEAM structure. They are a STEAM podcast and updating the book, STEAM book project right now, but yeah, they are a bit separate right now because they are very new. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have a short time for questions. Are there any? Yes, Arthur?
I was wondering about the task groups because you mentioned that they have a specific time frame. Now the 3 task groups that you mentioned there are already there for quite some time. Are you planning to move them or to change them to a committee?
Some of the task groups we've been thinking if they should change into committees. For instance, event quality at the end of the year. We will do the assessment with the next board for the upcoming year if they might change into committees later on.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Any other question? Yes, Maria?
Hello, Maria Giuseppe from Local Group Piraeus. I would like to ask about.
That was very quick.
Okay, Maria Giuseppe from Local Group Piraeus. I would like to ask about the data protection task group. Since it has a big value to the network, I would say what happens and do you have any plan?
Right now, the task group itself as a team is not working, but Nicolina is working on the GDPR a bit differently, like on her own right now. So that's why the team is not actively working. But it will be explained a bit more details in the strategy presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I think we had a question over there. Yes. Here on the left. Can you
turn on the microphone, please?
I'm Chiara from LG Milan. I wanted to know what is social and environmental responsibility about?
Do we have the leader? Maybe Ahmed would like to explain more. Ahmed.
We are asking the leader directly. He's on the back. Can you have a microphone?
Let's have the leader explaining.
Okay, what is social and environmental responsible committee, you ask? So it is a newly established committee of STEAM, like it has been in STEAM since 2009 or 2011, but it was inactive and active. Now it is active once again. So what we do is, our mission is basically to connect, educate, and support STEAM in the making of initiatives relevant to social and environmental responsibility. We have some projects on the local groups base, on the STEAMers base. Also, we work with many external stakeholders as well, like I Am Carry Foundation and such. Yeah, so what else can I say? We have cool projects. We are a bit crowded. We have like 18 people in the committee. So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. It seems we didn't have any other. Never mind. João? Let's take this last question and then we move on.
So hello, my name is João from local group Aveiro, and my question is about grants task group. So the application was already done and we already know the result. Will it continue?
Yes, at the end of the year, Luis, did you raise your finger? Oh, yeah, sure.
No.
Okay, Luis, grant task group leader from LGDH. We did apply for a grant. There will be a separate presentation about this, but yes, the task group will continue. There will be more applications in the future, unless the board doesn't want to. That shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Senna. I suppose we can pass to the next one. So I close agenda point 12, the esteem framework, and agenda point 13, esteem structure. And I open agenda point 14, the esteem board, and I call the 32nd board of esteem to the stage. Can you just... And also delegates, please stay awake. I know it can be difficult, and sunglasses doesn't help you. Yeah?
Bullshit!
Hello, everyone. We are the 32nd Board of Esteem, as you might know. And in this presentation, we are going to tell you a little bit more about our board and about the members of our board, so that you get to know us a little bit better, and because we are normal people like you. So, the 32nd Board of Esteem, we just decided on our board name a couple days ago. So, I would like to introduce our board name, the Misfortune Boards. You can see some pictures of the moments that we were gathered all together. In general, we are 6 normal girls. We get together, we party, we work a lot. On Zoom, actually not on Zoom, these pictures, but offline as well. But most of the times, we are also not so normal girls. And we have amazing pictures to document these moments. So, who exactly are the people inside our board? Let's start with I guess we get to buy. Oops. Yes. So some fun facts about us. We have too many screenshots. As I said, we usually gather on Zoom. So amazing pictures like these ones. Other things about us. We have had 57 official board chats, accounting to something that goes about 6 days. We visited 10 countries during our mandates as individuals. We have had 5 COVID cases in total, and they asked me to count the hours of traveling, but it was too difficult, so I think they are counted. And now we go to Helen.
So let's go with Helene, Vice President of Activities, or our princess. As you can see here, she really likes pink. We call her the Barbie girl sometimes, and she's very happy when she sees pink and red things. She's our spirit responsible. She's always the alcohol provider in the board. And yes, like red, as I said before, she really likes it. She, like here, you can see her buying a red beanie that was somehow the most Helene beanie that she could ever find. And yeah, like she's actually sleeping a lot. As you can see there, she's like in the Villa night in the CM Seville. people had a lot of fun with her. Like she also placed some bottles in her head. And yes, that's it. That's Halloween.
No, we have also Nicolina, our Vice President of Administration, or as we like to call her, nickname. She can sometimes be found like that. Being admin is very tiring. She's our grammar police, and that's her face when you make a grammar mistake or when you approach her on WhatsApp with your presentations. Please use the form. She likes to drink, as you can see her drinking a beer, and she stole one glass from one kafana in Serbia. So be careful with your glasses, she might steal them. She is a very picky eater, but you can see her enjoying Portuguese food there. And she had the most epic moment of our board, which was the fall. I invite you all to see the only moment. Guys, this was during General Assembly in CM Seville.
Okay, continuing with Jonah, our lovely VP of Education, or as we call her, Dean of Esteem. So she is the best student ever because if she's a VP of Education, don't expect her to finish her degree, I don't know, in 5 years. Then some legend says that she still drinks the gin from Seville. Well, in fact, we were the last people that were in Seville because we had a board meeting afterwards. So everyone who were leaving Seville just gave their alcohols to us. So we still have so many alcohols in Joanna's house in Lisbon, and she's still drinking those. And she loves hugs, but especially when there are a lot of things to do, she gets overwhelmed. As you can see in the picture, she just doesn't want to work sometimes. But if you hug her, she just gets motivated, and you can make her do anything if you hug her. And on the upper picture, you can see actually that's the time we agreed that I gave COVID to her. Yeah, after the board meeting in Constantine, we both of us tested positive, and I think because of this hug. And she also gets really happy if you send her cute, as you can see in the other picture. So you can send her cute pictures.
Okay, so here is our lovely PR police. She is super lucky because she once ordered one sleeping mask and she got 10. So she is still distributing them, and she brought them to us as Valentine's Day gift when we were having the board meeting. And she's making a good use of them, I can say. Also, pay attention to her reactions. You can see many funny faces when she's just, saying some stuff, things happening, whenever. But the only reaction that is constant for her is, her face when she doesn't see the esteem color with the true color code. So, just pay attention and remind that code. Keep that in mind, it will be needed. And she may be sad when you don't use esteem colors, but if you just play a song from your Eurovision contest, it will be fine, and she will just start dancing.
Can I ask the board to speed up a bit?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, so let me present you our Celine, Vice President of Finance. We also call her a Zen girl. She's into meditation and pottery. She's actually using her resources quite well, and anytime she can, she just goes into the power saving mode and sleeping everywhere, basically. Then she loves to meditate, but we still cannot figure out which is her favorite way, like with alcohol or like this. Then she's vegetarian, so if you see her angry, so just give her some food. And last but not the least, as you may imagine, she's responsible for all the finances in our board. Money, money, money. But every time we ask her about our board meeting to happen on the boat, this is the reaction we get from her.
Okay, last but not least, this is our president. So after spending some time with 3 Turkish co-workers and spending some time in Turkey with some events, she changed her name to Devin Baklava. So this is her name, just for your information. She is sportive. She likes to do sport, but she's also supportive to her co-workers, and the rest of the network. Okay. She's adventurous. Other the times that she doesn't do support, she's doing adventurous things like hiking and more. And she thinks that more alcohol brings more happiness, which we all approve. So if you see her drinking, she is happy. So she's a definitely dog person. If you're having a chat with her, you will definitely see one of her dogs or hear some noises of her dogs. And when she's tired, she's confused. So if you see her tired or confused, it could be because of the others. And that was it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before the question, I heard we have a short announcement from the organizers. Very short announcement, I hope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So please, the garbage can next to the bar is for bottle caps. So that's it. Please don't
Thank
throw
you.
cups there. Thank you.
Okay, now we have some questions for the board, if any. We have one from Arthur in the back.
Arthur Mihalczyk, LG Kaiserslautern. You can answer individually or as a group, but I was wondering what was the best moment as the board of Esteem for you, like first moment?
Okay, for me, it was the moment that we met for the first time all together in Skopje in our first board meeting.
For me, that's happened lately, I would say, when we joined Leaders Workshop all together and no one had to leave, and that was super nice and two events for our board.
For me, it was the first time that we sang the theme song in Seville all together and we opened the council meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. So I guess I can say the last time we sang a theme song in the council meeting, Seville. I was also going to say the closing of CM Seville. Sorry, there were no more theme songs.
Okay, then I should say opening of CM Belgrade, because yesterday with everyone on the parade it was so good when we were all together and singing that theme song.
We have one from Elif first, and then we go back to Arthur.
Hello, Elif Akyeler from...
This one we do it though, so that's good.
Keep in mind that Esteem is a huge playground, and don't be worried about making mistakes. Better learn from your mistakes.
Just make it very, very quick.
Okay, yeah, don't think, just join every activity you like. You will enjoy.
Aim high.
I was gonna say
your exams can wait.
Third VP of Education. Okay. Yeah, don't forget to have fun. There will be stressful moments, or like you will have the applications as that you are being on stage can be stressful, but yeah, keep having fun and join night activities.
All right, then we have the very last question from Arthur. Let's make it short.
Arthur Mihalczyk, LG Kaiserslautern. So you mentioned that you had 5 COVID cases. Who's the last survivor?
No, actually, no, this is wrong. During our mandate, we had 5 COVID cases, but Dasha got it twice. So Nicolene and Celine are the survivors still.
Thank you very much. Then I ask the board to take place, except Dasha, I'll need you for a moment more. I'll close agenda point 14, the Esteem board. And I open agenda point 15, proposal for the overruling of the local group requirement in the 63rd Council meeting Seville. I know it's a long name, now you will get the explanation, don't worry about it.
Okay. While Nicolene is opening the presentation, I'd like everyone to pay attention to this presentation because later we're going to vote upon that. Especially delegates. Okay, so guys, what does it mean, the proposal? Let me start basically with explaining some more details before I explain the proposal.
In ST, we have membership regulations. In that membership regulations, it stated that if local group does not fulfill requirements, it should receive a warning. So why do we have warnings? Warnings were created to motivate the local groups to take the active role in the network, to actively participate in network activities, and also contribute to the network as local associations, as well as communicate what a team expects from our members. And last but not the least, to inform the council during the General Assembly regarding the current situation of the local groups. So which of them fulfilled requirements, which requirements were fulfilled, and which not. Okay. Yeah, as our core value is encourage participation, we want local groups to be actively involved in the life of the network. And so why it's also important for us to have these warnings is to be able to begin a support strategy with the help of our regional coordinators and local group support system. In the past couple of years, during the COVID, it was quite complicated for local groups to travel and to organize events. That's why during the council meeting Seville, we proposed to overrule these requirements, which you can see on the screen. So requirement to have at least 5 different students traveling to attend at least one event, which is not other than council meeting, and organize at least one event in a 1 year period. So we propose to overrule those during the council meeting because mostly none of the local groups were able to fulfill those. Okay, what is the problem? When we had a voting upon the proposal, in the ballot sheet, it wasn't stated clearly for what do we vote. So it wasn't specified which requirements we want to overrule. What means that we overruled all of the requirements. And that's something what we did not propose, and that's something what people were not voting upon. Okay. Then, what is the problem, basically? If that's considering the previous voting, the consecutive warnings, and if local group receive 3 consecutive warnings, it shall be proposed for exclusion. So we need to count those consecutive warnings for CM Famagusta, the last online council meeting, and council meeting Belgrade. What is the problem in particular? That counting warnings from council meeting Famagusta does not seem realistic at the situation of the local groups, since that could change quite a lot. So the proposal itself would be serve the purpose of fixing the problem with the voting during the previous council meeting. What do we propose? We propose the warnings which were sent 28 days before this General Assembly on the 5th of April do not be counted towards consecutive warnings, and instead consecutive warnings should be counted for last online council meeting Seville, and council meeting Belgrade. So we want to these requirements you have listed here, only those to be overruled from Seville. And so warnings which, and we want to send the new warnings today if the proposal will be accepted. So the warnings which will be sent today on the 3rd of May would be counted for consecutive warnings. As such, would be basis to proposal for exclusion. Okay, so if the proposal would be accepted, we'll go for counting consecutive warnings for the last council meeting, for council meeting Seville and council meeting Belgrade. If rejected, we'll have to proceed with counting consecutive warnings for council meeting Famagusta, the last online council meeting, and council meeting Belgrade.
Dasha, sorry, there is a clarification in the back. I don't know if you want to answer to that right now. Okay.
So yeah, what would be the follow-up? When we will, after the voting, if the proposal will be accepted, we're going to send warnings to the local groups which is supposed to receive warnings with a new number of consecutive warnings. And tomorrow, like the second day of the General Assembly, the new requirements will be, the current situation with the local group requirements will be presented by the members committee leader. And yeah, that will be the situation with the local groups, if a proposal will be accepted or if a proposal will be rejected. So the main difference would be that we would have 2 local groups to be proposed for exclusion if the proposal will be rejected. And I think now we can go with questions and clarifications.
Yeah, let's start with the clarification from the back.
Hi, Luis Metzger, LG Berlin Milan. Just to get this straight, you are saying there was a problem with what we voted upon in Seville, which therefore the warnings that local groups received are not accurate, and what you're proposing right now is resending all the warnings that local groups should have received if it were in order.
Yes, so basically, because of the problem with in the voting ballots, it was not listed, so all of the requirements were overruled. So now we had to send it the way it is, with the current situation, and then if we fix it, the new warnings will be sent. Yes.
Follow up to that, okay. If I remember the members' regulations correctly, then these warnings cease to exist after a year.
Can you repeat your question?
These warnings, they're being held for how long? I believe it is a year in the MRs.
So we count consecutive warnings. So for example, if the local groups receive warnings every council meeting, we count them. If the next, for example, if local group won't receive the warning this council meeting, so then, and they receive during the next one, so they'll have one warning, like the one consecutive warning, the next council meeting.
And that does not pose a question. That does not pose a problem right now. Sending again all the different warnings in one go. Just from my point of view, it's just kind of weird that we're sending all the warnings on one point. And I'm just wondering if it was accounted for that some local group might not have gotten a consecutive warning in one of those CMs.
Here's a situation you can see what would be the difference. So the main problem is that now we'll have to propose 2 local groups for exclusion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then before we continue, I just want to ask the delegates please to be awake. I know it can be difficult again, but please, nor shades nor melting in your chair is going to help. So just try to have a bit of attention. We're not that far from going for lunch break.
Yeah,
we have a 2.
I just want to make one clarification for Luis' question.
Oh, okay.
All the warnings that were presented.
Sorry, can you repeat name, surname, local group?
Local group Ankara Weekends. Just one clarification. That's all the warnings that were presented in CM Seville, they were correct. The only problem was with the voting sheets. So this is the proposal is basically to fix the voting sheets, but the proposal that was the presentation, and then afterwards the warnings that was also sent to the local groups were correct. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We have one from Francisca. In the meanwhile, if anyone else has a question, please stand up so I can see you or raise your hands.
Yes. Francisca Trigarius, LG Porto. Can you please put the slide again of the CMs that are being counted in both situations? Yes, CM1 and okay, and the other.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, okay. So we say that the consecutive warnings will be counted if rejected with CM Famagusta, 62nd CM online, and 64th. But my question is, shouldn't we count the 3 last CMs even though there weren't warnings? So that means that we would count the last 3 CMs, but in some of them we wouldn't have any warnings to count, but it should still count that. I am confused with this.
So is your question that why do we count council meetings which are in between Famagusta and online, or?
Can you clarify in one sentence your question?
So you are only counting, if this is rejected, you are only counting the council meetings where we actually had warnings sent. And I was wondering, why don't we count the consecutive council meetings, even though there weren't any warnings sent in those because the membership regulations were overruled?
So we don't count those because membership regulations were overruled, so we do not, local groups did not receive any warnings there. So because all of the requirements were overruled.
That's just very short, and also let's try to move up also from this end.
But
yeah, we had 2 online council meetings where everything was overruled.
Yes, but so it is not a consecutive. I don't see how that is a consecutive warning, because imagine I'm a local reporter and I received a warning, and then in the next TM things were overruled, so I didn't receive a warning, and then in the next one I receive a warning. The consecutiveness, if I didn't receive in the second, it goes to 0 again. I don't understand how we are counting like from Augusta.
We're counting those because we count the council meetings when local groups receive warnings. And for the next council meetings, everything was overruled. So no warnings were received at all. It was basically like the warnings weren't sent out. And that's why we count consecutive warnings from Famagusta, because in the other two online CMs, all of the warnings were overruled. And that's why it's like the warnings were never sent.
Yeah, let's have Yasin to clarify for us, please. And then we have short clarification from the back.
Can we start with Yasin first?
Yeah, also like regarding Francisca's question, it was also stated that like all requirements will be overruled, and like what was voted on, it was saying that it shall not be a basis for consecutive warnings. Yes, so that's why we did.
Okay, then we have the clarification form release, and then we only take those two questions of the people that are standing up already.
Coming back to you, Luis Metzger, LG Berlin, Milan. Coming back to your meeting, if they're overruled, that does not mean they didn't get a warning. That was meaning that nothing was sent out. I mean, there was not no warning for no one. It was generally no warnings were sent out, meaning it still accounts for if they have gotten a warning in front of this. If I understand that correctly.
Can you get the microphone for short answer?
Okay, so the problem was that instead of only overruling 3 requirements, all requirements were overruled in civil. So we didn't, it means that nothing will be checked. So it doesn't mean that local groups will not receive warnings, but basically, since it was overruled, it will not be a basis for consecutive warnings. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. We have first Johannes and then Kai. And then we have to move on.
Johannes I think this might be more about the agenda point 26. But I think we're going to go through how the requirements are going to go this year. Is it going to be?
It's going to be a presentation tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you. Then Kai, last question.
Kai Heine, Group Berlin. My question is just because I don't remember it myself correctly. Did we also overrule the warnings for example, requirement emails in the 60th and 61st council meeting online?
60 what?
60th and 61st.
Yeah, for the online, it was overruled. And also in that proposals, it was stated like when the counting of the consecutive warnings shall be like continued.
So there was the same case that we had in civil with the ballots, basically.
No, they actually were proposing to overrule everything. So that was stated correctly in the ballots.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a technical back on the left.
Hi, Mere Roska, LG Helsinki. The internet is not working, so I cannot check Pigeonhole.
Organizers? Can you help Mary with the connection, please? Mary, can you raise your hand? That girl. Thank you very much. All right, so we have to close for now. So thank you, Dasha. And closing agenda point 15, proposal for the overruling of the local group requirement in the 63rd Council meeting civil. And I open agenda point 16, board report, and I call the 30 seconds to the stage.
Okay, let us present you the board report, and first of all, we have Nikolina with 23. Okay, let's continue. So, as you might know, for this year's, our main focus was the transition to offline. Guys, can you be quiet? Thank you.
Our main focus was to transition to offline events. So that's what we were working on in the previous month. And from CM Seville to CM Belgrade, we had 66 offline events successfully organized. And we were also having coordination meetings to develop our network even further. So we had 4 department coordination meetings. All of the departments had their coordination meetings. 2 of them were offline, 1 hybrid, and 1 online. We had 5 regional coordination meetings, which all of them were offline. And we have 10 committee project coordination meetings. 4 of them was offline, 2 of them were hybrid, and 4 of them was online. So, okay, we already talked about traveling and so on, but what about work part?
So, one of the events of the year was IEM conference. It happened in the beginning of March, organized by Local Group Lisbon, and the topic was sustainability in IEM. The main points of development of the event this year were the formats. First time trying out with the local group, we had same sessions, but they were offline and live streamed online. And then it was a lot of learning points about the coordination, how to coordinate the involvement of the local groups partners with the teams partners, but we are going to have more presentations about IEM conference.
Okay, and the other events, the other big events we have as Team Hunt. First edition was last year. This year we also had it online and kept the same format. One of the advices from last year's practices was, a Team Hunt requires a team which is dedicated for the CR and PR especially. So we had a team with CR/PR responsibles, and for around 6 months, team was working on the events. We had 3 companies: Picnic, PwC, and Total Energies. The core of the event consists of flash interviews, presentation, and workshops. And this year, additionally, we also had the networking session and the CV workshop. Other than that, yes, that's basically all.
This year we published the STEAM podcast as one of the new projects that we focused. The plan was to have 7 episodes, but we were able to publish only 5 of them. I will be presenting you in more details later on. And also one of the new-ish projects is to restarting the STEAM book and updating the past 7 years. So there we also gathered a team to start working on the book again. And there we have 3 main sections that we are collecting articles. I believe some of you are aware you needed to write articles. And that's also an ongoing project right now.
Then about Ilium, we worked a lot on bringing Ilium to a working platform. For a while, it wasn't used a lot, so we tried to encourage our leaders to share more and team members. Something important that happened was that we started updating the STEAM Chronicle.
Okay, concerning the work of the all boards altogether, so we have 3 main areas we've been focusing for the year. The first one is leaders, being there as board responsible, supporting our leaders in any way they need, and as well board goals and strategy. Regarding the board goals, I would say that our board is quite a transition board, as we had to adopt the network, its activities, and basically bring the network from online to offline. During our mandate, the first offline events got started. So when we were deciding the board goals, we decided to go with the 4 main areas, which are COVID-19 recovery, financial stability, and esteem brands and working culture. So we decided on those areas, and then let me show you that our board goals are quite aligned with the areas of the STEAM strategy. So by working on the board goals, we actually contribute to most of the areas of the strategy. And so in the next few minutes, we're gonna update you on the situation of our board goals, and some parts will also be covered during the presentations about strategy. So let's start with the COVID-19 recovery.
So, as you might guess, again, one of our main focuses was the recovery of the COVID-19. After not have been able to have any offline activities, not just events, but also like local group activities. We were supporting local group and helping local groups with their transition to offline terms. So we have 3 objectives for offline activities and involving members in the network. But all of the points of those objectives were covered by in the esteem strategy, and we will be talking about it during the esteem strategy presentation.
And the other area is financial stability. It has 3 main areas: partners, grants, and knowledge and support. Partners and grants is the part which is mostly supported by external relations strategy that you are also going to see later. But mainly for the partners, we worked on after-sales process, created healthier feedback form, sent it to partners, and then there will be the follow-up on the evaluation of the improvements of the partnerships during the partnership duration. For the career center institutional partners, we are still waiting for open calls from the partners for the career center. So this is the part that requires some content to work on. So it's kind of on hold at the moment. And at the moment, also we are in contact with the University of Sofia for a possible partnership. For the grants, we applied for Erasmus Plus and awards. And according to feedback that we have from these applications, we will work towards increasing the alignment with the European Commission. For the knowledge and support in the last area, this area is not fully covered by external relations strategy. Basically, we sent a form to esteemers to understand, okay, in which area of financial issues, financial topics they are missing the knowledge, how can people understand the discussions happening better. And afterwards in the Finance Summit Spring, we had people who are not taking an active role in finance, but interested and eager to learn about the finances as the participants, and also had 2 sessions to kind of onboard them about the topic. And with the upcoming CR schools, we are planning to support local groups with their corporate relations. Okay, continuing with the esteem brand, this board goal as an area is also fully integrated inside the esteem strategy, because it's also an area under that. Mainly this year, we wanted to focus on understanding what kind of image actually esteem has, especially in the external. That's why one of them was to one of the actions that we took there was to doing some assessment. Through collecting information from previous years and also from our partners, as well as studying the current representation of esteem. So, for instance, in which websites are we present? What kind of information do we have? And how esteem is mentioned, also in the outside resources. In order to representation, we've been working on the search engine optimization and some more improvements on the portal as well. And I will be talking about them also a bit more details in the strategy presentation. And can we go back?
In the meanwhile, can I remember delegates to be awake? Hello, yes.
Yeah. And also here one of the points that is relevant to esteem's image and its visibility, improving the communication of esteem and its activities. We've been working on esteem podcast, esteem blog, and esteem book, updating, publishing, and also providing more content to esteemers to communicate what's new. Also to improve the consistency of the image that we share with both internal and external stakeholders. We've been trying to understand if we are actually reaching our target group. So there we've had some research to understand how local groups are doing the recruitment, and also what's going on also in the local groups. As well as supporting our members, our local groups, with the image that they share through revising the content that we provide, the templates, PR materials, and so on.
And finally, diverse and engaging content for the social media, which I will be talking a bit more details again in the strategy presentation. But this part we couldn't focus that much as the other points in the brand goal.
And moving on with the working culture, our first focus was the knowledge management, but all of the objectives under this goal were implemented in the STEAM strategy that you will see after. And we should promote a STEAM's working culture more, and we should focus on external stakeholders, but also on STEAMers, and what is best than social media when everyone is using. And yeah, we had some helium sessions. We did some trainings and some kind of games with different steamers, team members, leaders, etc. And last but not least, we wanted to focus on the work dynamics within departments, and we started some benchmarking chats with the department coordinators. We had 2 already, but due to time limits, we couldn't have more. We will have some more after the council meeting. And yes, with the department coordinators again, we had a chat to discuss the uses of helium, so that the departments use them as a working platform.
So our mandate is not over yet, so there are still some things to be done in the next months. First, right after this CM, in May still, we will proceed with the onboarding of the new leaders that will be elected. And around still in June, our biggest focus will be the handover to the 33rd boards. And then until July, until the 31st of July, we will be working on finalizing, of course, the handover, everything that is included in the strategy and our board goals. And then there is a finish line.
All right, let's go with some questions. The lady was first, then Kai.
Hello, okay. Zeynep Iba from local group Istanbul Yıldız. So topics which are related to branding of Esteem, and there are like goals, but is there any like Esteem PR strategy that has been worked on in a long-term PR strategy for Esteem?
At the moment, as a STEAM PR strategy, no. The actions that we are taking are under the STEAM strategy, under brand area. For the more specific PR strategies, from time to time, social media strategies are created, sometimes long-term, sometimes short-term, but right now we don't have. Okay, thank you.
Kai, then Ahmed.
Kai Heine, Berlin. My question about ST-Month, I guess for Celine, firstly, will you have a presentation later about it? Then I can ask the question, okay?
Yes, there will be a presentation later.
Perfect. Secondly, also a question about the transition to online events in terms of event activity. We will also have a presentation about event activity, right?
Yes, activity.
Okay, questions will follow later.
I'll wait for them.
Ahmet Kaplan, local group İstanbul Boğaziçi. So my question is to Sena. Are the researches that were conducted under the topic of brand awareness and the consistency, are they available on any document or something else? Like how local groups do promote their own insights? I think it would be valuable to see those on like any shared platform. So that was my question.
Thanks for the question. It's a really good question. Yeah, that was actually something we've been wanting to do, but right now we are more focused on firstly updating and creating the guidelines, because if we do the assessment now and then change things, we would need to do the assessment. So there will be a following presentation about the brand guidelines in the next days. After council meeting, we are planning to, with the new guidelines and new materials, we will start promoting and start assessing if local groups are aware of those. But right now, or so far, we haven't worked on it because we've been working on the changes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Arthur, do you still have a question? Okay, then Elif and Chris, are you standing? Okay, no, because you're very tall. So.
Okay, Elif Akyıldırım from Istanbul ITU and Yıldız. Thank you, first of all, thank you for the presentation. It's really great to see how Esteem grows. And my question is for Esteem brand and also financial stability. For the partners, what was the main action point that you included inside both board goals that you have as to improve the partner relationship that we had whole year?
For the student NGOs part, I can say that from the beginning, I was working closely with the ambassadors to increase the communication through the collaboration chats between the entities esteem entities and the student NGOs, their projects or their team. That was, I would say, something we've tried to improve compared to last year. And also, yeah, regular chats and communication. We've been working on keeping the communication constantly.
We have no, we don't. Okay, then I would just like what?
Financial stability. Yes.
Okay, go for it.
For financial stability, I would say after sales process, we focused quite much on how can we keep partners satisfied during the partnership instead of like making the evaluation through the end of the year. So with the healthier feedback form, and also we started to send them some postcards as thank you in the like Christmas and such holidays, etc. So little gestures plus after sales process and the constant feedback was the main focus.
Thank you. We have a question from the delegate first, then we have Arthur, Chris, Suda, if you still have it. Yes.
It's me, right? Alpha LGR from Germany. Could you briefly explain like the application for Erasmus Plus? Like, what did you apply for and why?
Luis, would you like? There will be a presentation for the application.
Perfect.
Can you repeat your name for the secretary?
Alpha.
Thank you. Okay. Then we have Arthur. Well, they get it. That's the important part.
Arthur Michalczyk, LG Kaiserslautern. So now you've worked for 9 months on board goals. Like when reflecting upon those, what can you suggest the next boards to keep in mind when working on them?
Okay, I would say that from the very beginning we were not quite realistic with the amount of work we are starting. So I would say keep a bit less objectives and focus on the prioritize and focus on the most important parts. I would say that from my side.
Yeah, I agree. And we also, like as Deja mentioned, we focused on the board goals a lot, and then we forgot that we actually have a network to run and also do the transition, so it was too much.
I can add, this also goes with the team strategy, but we have a strategy with 6 areas and our board goals connect to some areas more than others. So it's cool to keep the balance to ensure that all board members contribute in the same way.
Okay, and Chris first.
Chris, local group Gdańsk. I have a question to Dasha.
Can you go name, surname?
What?
Name and surname.
Chris Vegas, local group Gdańsk. My question is to Dasha, connected to the recovery from COVID. During your application for the board, you mentioned that you would like to identify what are the most, like the biggest benefits of the online period and the stuff that, like the online, actually bring benefits to the network and actually work on keeping them in the network. So I wanted to ask you, like, what's the progress on this and what are going to be like the next steps? So while we are going back to the offline, we are also keeping the best of the online.
Okay, thank you for your question. I would say that's one of the biggest benefits we have is that people can join, doesn't matter what's happening. I mean, we had to experience quite sometimes the situations when one of our board members or I could not join, so we keep the events in hybrid formats, allowing more.
Yes, it's also like included some part of my goals as well. We wanted to keep online activities, online offers that we provide esteemers to ensure that everyone has equal opportunities, but due to some lack of interest to organize or participant online events, we weren't able to keep as much as we can. So we were only mostly having online events for working centrally, and then some activities for esteemers to get bond, and also some service event offers.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, then we have first the lady in green, then the gentleman in black, and then we have Luis if you still have a question. Okay, then 1 and 2, and then we move on. Yeah, good idea.
Sıldayım Adatilla, Local Group İstanbul ITU.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, it's not a challenge who says it's the fastest. So can you slowly repeat it for us?
Sude Yılmaz Atilla, Local Group İstanbul ITU.
It's still difficult, but we got it. Go on.
Okay. Can I go with question? Okay. My question is to Nicolina. You mentioned that you have sessions about Helium. Did you collect any feedback from those sessions, or like, did you think that those sessions were beneficial for the usage of Helium?
Yeah, like firstly we had a session in an event that was organized by HRC. It was about central team members, and there we had an activity on Helium, and the participants said that they really enjoyed it because it was more interactive. And then we saw that some of those team members actually made Helium posts, so I think that was the feedback that we got.
All right, thank you. Then we had a gentleman in black on the left. Well, my left anyway. No more? No? No, okay, then never mind. Take you to the board, and you can take your seat. Just to clarify, do you have other pieces you have to present? Okay, so then we have Helene, if you can go back to the stage.
Yes, fun part starts. Esteem strategy.
Technical.
Technical.
In the meanwhile, we have a question. Yes? Behind you.
Okay, I'm David, Local Group Civil. Since I've seen some boring faces all over PGA, could we have an energizer before the next presentation, please?
How are we with time? Do we have an energizer now? No, not now. Endure.
So please delegate the state back way.
Thank you. Our lovely secretaries are suggesting wake up your neighbors. Okay, some people took it too seriously. Chill.
Okay, perfect. So I hope you're a little bit more energized. So let's start with the next presentation, which you're gonna enjoy a lot. So let us start those rounds of presentations about STEAM strategy. But before we go deeper into the areas, okay. But before we deep into the 6 areas of the strategy, let me share a little bit about the STEAM strategy for 2021-2024.
And before you continue, please, people, let's put the chapter into 0. Thank you.
Okay, the framework was created in a way that we have 6 different areas of the strategy. All of them are interconnected between each other, so they were created to be one strategy and not 6 different strategies in those areas. So those areas of the strategy should be taken care of by the board, committees, task group, department, services, and actives. So the whole network is supposed to contribute to the implementation of the strategy. Then what has been done since the council meeting civil? During our board meeting too, we had a follow-up on the inputs which was provided us during the council meeting. We also were reevaluating and prioritizing some more things to proceed with implementation. like we adopted 4 changes. Proceed with implementation of the strategy, and now currently, right before the council meeting was sent, we posted on Ilium the document with the updates for the council meeting on the strategy, on the current situation, where in the more details we explained what was happening and had a short reflection on all of the areas and long-term objectives inside of those areas. The future steps. So since now on, we're gonna present you and reports during the council meeting on the 6 areas. Later on, we will continue concluding the ongoing work. Right after the council meeting, we're going to be back, as we still have quite some time of our mandate left. Then we'll prepare the final documentation and work on the handover of the strategy to provide the most needed information and all of those, share our experiences with the next board of the team. And now we can start with the first area, activity quality. So welcome, Helene.
Yes. So, first area of the strategy was activity quality. In the activity quality area, we had 8 LTOs that we were working on, and then I will go each by each. So first, LTO stands for the esteem capable to start event organization of the local groups. For this LTO, do you have a technical?
Yeah, can you have a microphone?
So, Serhat Gürgen Yatağı from LG Ankara Bilkent. If it's not too much of an inconvenience, could you please not talk like this, a little far away from your mouth?
This like this?
Yes.
Is it better?
Thank you, yeah.
Can I continue? Thank you. Okay, yeah, first LTO we had 3 objectives.
It's for the same reason.
Okay, sorry. To which channels that they would like to get, and then according to the results that we got, we were providing the needed support to the local groups with some documents, with trainings, with any other thing that they would like to receive from the centralized team. And we were doing this with the event quality, with analyzing and providing new opportunities. And then now we are also working for new creation of new materials for local groups and also videos for them to understand what's the esteem traditional event and how it looks like and how can they organize those events. And we were also supporting local groups for their quality. We were analyzing the feedback results, and then we will be also continuing to analyzing the feedback results because we weren't analyzed that much since we didn't have that many events. But we will be continuing to analyze the feedback results, and according to the feedback results, we will provide the needed help to the local groups who are lacking the quality. And the second objective is to customize support to the local group in the organization processes of events. This is goes for the support to the local groups who are organizing our project events like CM, IM, conference, and Times Final. With the board responsible of those events, we were providing needed support with having constant communication with those local groups and help them whatever they need. And the last objective is to provide help to the members for organizing event types by their region, and collaborate with service leaders and regional coordinators for esteem event quality. We were collaborating with regional coordinators, what kind of materials that regions can use, and then how can we provide those. And if we are lacking anything that we don't provide already with the event quality. And as next steps, we will be also joining regional chats to provide needed support and promote event quality and its offers to the regions and our local groups for them to see what kind of opportunities that we have in event quality task group and in general as team for us to support them in event organization processes. And as next step, we will be also collaborating with service leaders for the quality of their events because they are the key points of the event. And they are the first contact, they are who are in the first contact with the local groups, so they will be very important for the ensure the quality of esteem events. Yes. Second LTO is esteem ensures the coexistence of all online and offline environment through its offers. So we had two objectives for this LTO. First one is with offline. We were also constantly evaluating the COVID regulations to provide the safest environment for our STEAM activities, to make sure that we are having safe events, and then we are also having events, and we are ensuring the transition, and then we created many different COVID regulations according to the chair, and right now we don't have any COVID regulations. And we will have another presentation of COVID regulations, just for your information. And the second objective is provide equal opportunities for online and offline STEAM activities. For this, I was mapping all the STEAM network to a feature that what kind of STEAM activities we had, and then we could have it for the future. And then we will be also studying the interested feedback members of STEAM events, as I already mentioned.
Can I just ask if you can speed up a bit?
Yes. Yes. And the third LTO is STEAM's quality in activities is recognized by internal and external stakeholders. We have one objective for this. It's the enhanced recognition of STEAM activities by providing opportunities for stakeholders. For this, we were working on a new dashboard with the analysis committee to show the STEAM events quality to internal and external stakeholders for them to understand what kind of quality that we have in STEAM. And we were also collaborating with ambassadors to see that which kind of event types that we can actually have external participation in our STEAM events to have high quality events. And as the fourth LTO, we have STEAM promotes activity quality through the recognition of local group efforts with incentive system. For this, we have also one objective, which is ensure the recognition of all our members' efforts and promote their achievements to the network. For this, we were modifying the Yoga Awards with both online and offline events to give the recognition to our local groups. And we also, with the analysis committee, we also updated the activity rating system, which we will be also seeing in another presentation to give the recognition that our members deserve. And as the fifth LTO, we have STEAM has established tools, define, track, and improve the quality of its activities. We have two objectives for this. First one is have a standardized system to track activity quality. For this, we created a new offline feedback form to adapt each feedback form to each event type to understand both content and logistic quality of our events, which will be implemented very soon, that you will be filling, hopefully. And we were also looking for creating new methods to track the event quality, with analyzing the needs and analyzing the feedback form. And the second objective is ensure development of STEAM events and increase their quality. For this, we created a training session for the service leaders for them to understand how can they contribute to the network to have a high quality event service events while they're communicating with local groups. And this is also like support to the leaders because they will be also like they are also a little bit lacking of knowledge about how can they collaborate after the online year. And the sixth LTO is that STEAM provides a variety of activities in the areas of academic, career, intercultural, and personal development. We have one objective for this: examine possibilities to provide activities in all areas and try out new organized systems. For this, we started to work on a new project to match local groups who are looking for to organize events with the service events type that who are actually looking for local groups to make sure that each event type, like all of the event types who are looking for local groups are having their local groups, and local groups who are looking for to organize events, they are having their events. And then we were also, I was also working on the improve the knowledge on the communication between your facilities. Where we will also be creating an environment where we can encourage intervention for the event implementations after COVID, and what was the failures and what was the what we can improve the event organization processes. And the seventh LTO is that STEAM pursues constant evaluation of event concepts and strives to adapt the members' interests and needs. We have two objectives also for this: extend the members' engagement within the network by creating new opportunities according to their demands. For this, we were analyzing the feedback forms and the needs with some forms and dashboards to see what kind of demands that our members are looking for and how can we provide it, both for the event organization and also for the generally to the event offers that we have, that make sure that we are providing the needed, demanded offers to our members.
Can I ask to conclude in 1 minute? And in the meanwhile, can I tell people? Just be fast, got content, don't go faster. In the meanwhile, can I suggest what Gina said? Wake up your neighbors, please, gently. Don't slap the fuck out of them, thank you.
Okay.
And also, please, if you have to leave the room or come back, it's fine. Just use the back doors, not the front ones. Thank you.
Okay, second objective is to provide support to the local groups for enhanced knowledge on CI and finance areas. So for this, we were creating the trainings, creating some trainings and handouts documents for the SDR and budget topics and delivering to those documents and trainings to our local groups. We still have the handouts and we are providing to those documents to the local groups who are needed. And the last LTO is the STEAM events have a positive impact on social and environmentally. We have one objective for this, transfer knowledge to our members to reduce environmental negative effect and increase the positive social impact in our activities. For this, I start creating the guideline for what can the local groups can do for their events, and then with event quality.
People, she can speak, you should not.
Yes.
Common sense, remember.
Yeah, and with the event quality, we will be also working on a session for local groups to deliver in their event to increase the knowledge on social and environmental responsibility. And that was it. Okay, I have a clarification. In my defense, I have 8 LTOs. So I have more than the others, you will see.
All right, then.
Sorry.
We have some questions now. So we have Arthur first. Wait, technical from Kai first. I hope it's Kai. I can see you from here.
It is Kai Heine, Berlin. Will there be dedicated question time afterwards for the entire strategy as such and not area that?
Yes.
Yes. We have Arthur first.
All right, Arthur Michalczyk, LG Kaiserslautern, and here I'm also referring to the motion, to the proposal for overruling the LG requirements. So there we could see that there many warnings were sent out to local groups. I assume it is because they haven't organized an event during the period. Okay, and now you're assessing like the transition from online to offline activities. Like, do you see some patterns there? So, for instance, that specific regions are failing more than others, and do you have plans how to counteract it?
I realize a pattern that we have, but right now, as I mentioned, we are already collaborating with regional coordinators to see which types of support or help the local groups needs according to their region. So, but I didn't realize a pattern. So it's mostly the yeah.
I think we have the lady in black in the back.
I'm wearing black. Louise Bettenberg, LG. So you talk. Can you hear me? Oh.
Yes.
You talk about the lack of interest for organizing online events. Then you talk about wanting to provide equal opportunities for both online and offline. So do you plan on promoting the organization of online events? Why? And if you plan to, how would you do it?
Before you answer, can you repeat the name and surname for the secretaries?
Louise Battenberg, LG.
So your question was that if I am planning to do something to promote online activities for organization, right?
Well, first, if you want to, and then how if you actually want to.
Okay, firstly, we were already kind of promoting online activities, online events that we can actually have via event open call page. We already had online event open calls also included in the event open call page for local groups to see that which types of online activities that they can organize. Secondly, I'm not planning to promote that much of online activities because if the local groups are willing to and if we have enough participants, then it's a good reason. But I believe if that it's depending on the local group's desire and need. So if they don't want to, I will be continuing what I do. I was already promoting it. I won't plan to do anything additional, but if anyone has any suggestions, I'm always open to it, or if anyone wants.
Okay, sorry for the pressure before. Now you can speak and breathe normally. And then we have a question from Sigurd.
Yep, Sigurd Hauser, LG Trondheim. In the point 1.6, you mentioned something about having a system for connecting LGs with STEAM event types. Can you explain a bit what that is? Is it just the event open call page or is it something more?
It will be based on the applications that we will receive from the event open call page. Before COVID, I don't know if you know, but not all of the local groups were able to organize the events that they were desiring. So with this system that we will, also hopefully it will be the case soon. So with this system, we will be able to track that which event, which local groups applied for each sorry, am I okay. We will be analyzing which local groups are looking for which types of events for them to be able to organize desired events, even though if they are not the ones that they are actually wanting. So.
Okay. Then we have a question from Johannes, and then João, and then Elif.
Johannes LXIV Vasa. First of all, I will remind that the delegates are supposed to ask the questions, not the old fuckers from behind. I mean, not you, David. Maybe somebody else too. And then I will have a general question. What will be the major changes to the strategy if you will given the chance to modify it?
Can you repeat the question?
What will be the major changes for the strategy if you will have the chance to modify it now? Do you have any? Or is it good as it is?
Wait a moment. If you're having, is it for the whole strategy or the section? Because if it's for the whole strategy, we have a session later about the whole thing for question. If it is for this session, then that's the time. Up to you.
We can do it later.
Okay, then we do it there.
But then delegates, wake up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support. João.
So, João, local group Aveiro, and...
sorry, can you name and surname?
João Pissarra, local group Aveiro.
Thank you.
So, I think it was objective number 3. You said track the interests and feedback of esteem events regarding the event interests. Is there somewhere where we can assess that the outcomes?
We have the event feedback reports on Tableau. So if you are interested, you can check the Tableau.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and let's do Elif and then the delegate here in the front.
Hello.
I'm sorry, just clarification. Are you also delegate?
Yes.
Okay, then after you will go to that.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Elif Akılarım from Istanbul ITU. My question for general hybrid events. Now, currently we are having online and offline most likely, but if the case that people should be there, but they cannot attend as offline, then we are making the event hybrid. In the future, are you planning to make hybrid event as an official event type in Esteem, or is there any kind of research or analysis for that?
Until now, only the hybrid events that we had was the central events, either comms or central events that are central, like Esteem to work. So I never planned to do that. I didn't think about it. So I don't I don't think that it will make sense because organizing hybrid events are very difficult with the technical and also the participation side. So I didn't plan it, but in the future, maybe next board can think about it if there is a demand and interest.
Thank you.
Then sorry for the extra place. I think we won't have time for your question right now, so I would suggest you to add them to Pigeonhole. And now we will do the delegates and then a couple from Pigeonhole as well, as I've heard it's back online.
Francisca Trigueiros, LG Porto. You mentioned that you created a dashboard for measuring the event quality, and that you would like to use it to increase the visibility of event quality stakeholders. And I was wondering, how are you planning to do that, to increase the visibility by using that dashboard?
For this, I was thinking to have a WordPress page, which we could actually add all of the event quality dashboards that we could share with our external stakeholders, so that they will be able to see. And I was thinking, if it's possible, we'll see it ITC, to add also the link on the portal.
Thank you. Mr. ITC.
Hi. Hello. I'm David Barrero, LG Civil. You have been talking about making online event and offline events. I have a doubt regarding internal membership regulation. Are online events count as one event organized by the year, or are only offline event counts?
No, we don't count online events for the requirement. and we will have a proposal tomorrow about the membership regulations changes for the event.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Then we have Luciana in the front. And thanks a lot to our microphone responsible. You're running the marathon. An applause for them, yeah. Thank you.
Luciana Oliveira, LG Aveiro. And my question is, as you know, not all LGs has the same facility to arrange sponsors and finance. And you know that it's hard to do a great event without this help. So what is actually the real strategy to help the LGs in that way?
You mean CR related support?
Yeah.
As I already mentioned, we already had CR and budget related trainings for the local groups, and we already have the handout documents for of those training sessions that you can find. And I think also with the CRC, they are planning to organize CR school. With that, I think they will be local groups will be also supported.
Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have our pigeon responsible? Pigeonhole responsible? Yes. Do we have any questions for this?
Evdoxia Pandatsi from LXIV and Gothenburg asked, she has asked multiple questions, but for example, one is, what are the concrete action points you have implemented since the last council meeting?
Action points.
Concrete action point implemented since last council meeting.
Okay. First one is the new feedback form, definitely. And second one is the these applications that I was mentioning about, because I really see a huge value with the input that I received from the previous VP of activities. I think also like adapting the service questions to the new feedback form will increase the content quality of service events. So these are the main main things that I was working on. That has huge workload. So.
Okay. One last from Pigeonhole.
One more question?
Yes.
No. Yeah. So then, Eudoxia asked also, what are concrete action points you are going to hand over to the next board?
It will be like, I don't have a concrete action point that will be handover, but if there will be anything, if there will be anything that I wouldn't be able to accomplish during my mandate, like last 3 months, I will be handovering on those, especially the ones that I see the huge value.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Technical?
Is this thing on? It is. Hello, Eric Viktor Pymyashinsky, local group Gothenburg. Pigeonhole responsible was kind of wondering, we have got a question raised about the requirements overruling. To clarify it, will there be time for that before? There will.
All right. So the board says yes. Also, it will happen that sometimes we won't have time for questions, so please add to the Pigeonhole. And to those that come to the stage and present, please check Pigeonhole often, so you can answer the questions that are asked there. All right. Then we have area number 2. I will ask Stena if you can join the stage. Well, join. She's already there, but you got the point.
Okay, hello everyone again. One of the areas of STEAM strategy is brand strategy. But why do we have brand as an area inside of the strategy? Is to ensure the consistency of a STEAM image, and also to make sure that STEAM is represented all across Europe the same way in every country. So going into the little details, inside the STEAM brand area, we have 6 main long-term objectives, and each of them focuses on different parts. So as you can see, from external image to internal and communication channels, define value proposition, analytical tools usage, and local group support and materials. So going into the details of each of them, the first long-term objective is focusing on the external image of STEAM and working towards that.
So under this long-term objectives, one of the main focuses of the year was to understand actually how esteem is represented and by different stakeholders, which would include our partners, our local groups, sorry, not local groups, our partners, student partners, company partners, university partners, and so on. So for that part, we gathered information from previous years from the people who's been working in external relations. So for instance, education, to understand how was their perception while working with external relations with our partners. At the same time, we did an assessment with our current partners. So we sent out a form to collect answers to understand how do they see esteem, do they value being partner with us, or what would they want what would they want more from us. There we received 8 responses so far, and also with the information that we gathered from the previous board members, we will conclude the esteem has a description or something about esteem. And there we revised 15 pages from random study portal websites to our partner pages. There, yeah, most of the information is now revised or checked to make sure if it's correct or not. But the Wikipedia page is still missing that we need to update. But the others, a little bit different image of esteem. But what are the core parts that we should convey in each of the different parts? Was the part that we discussed and we concluded. And there, yeah, we now have the content and the template. We will be finishing right after council meeting as well. And also the final part that is concerning a bit more internal, the pages for esteem portal, IEM Europe and the partners page are in work in progress, and they will be also published. And yeah, they are the pages that explains what esteem is, and also the parts about who are our partners. And then the second long-term objective is about our internal image, the image that we are sharing with our internal stakeholders, which would include our local groups, esteemers. And here we have 2 main focuses. So one of them is again perception. This is more or less the same as we had the external. So here, understanding how does an esteemer see esteem or expects from esteem. One of the ideas that we had here from the beginning was to having some kind of a tracking system from the beginning of esteemer's journey. So for instance, when you join esteem, how do you see esteem? What do you expect then after joining a couple of events or after being active for a couple of rides? But the problem there was having so many different variables made it almost really impossible to track individuals. So there, instead of focusing on this part, I decided to shift the objective here a bit towards having a general assessment form. So now, instead of trying to track individual esteemers, we will have an assessment form more as a general to all of the esteemers, and then filtering different people depending on their experiences and how do they see esteem afterwards with the assessment. Continuing with the second part about the internal awareness. So last year we had a task group called Internal Awareness, which was working on different projects to increase the awareness and providing necessary tools. Due to some overlaps with other entities and some of the projects that did not become reality, let's say, we decided to assess its positioning during council meeting and after council meeting with the board meeting. And from there, we decided to move the internal awareness task group as a project under public relations broader to be used in more events, but also with some specifications. So now it is called as a presentation, not as a special branding, and it will be part of the materials inside the public relations committee. And yeah, so continuing with the third long-term objective here, this one focuses more on providing support, resources, and knowledge to the local groups. Since the beginning of the mandate, our biggest focus became the brand guidelines. So what's brand guidelines? We will have a detailed presentation about it, but it's basically all of the guidelines that everyone, that includes local groups, individuals, leaders, or activist teamers, to follow when they are using Esteem's image. So this would include the colors you need to use, Esteem logos usage, or any kind of things that you can think of, especially on social media. So updating and revising the brand guidelines, which was created more than 3 years ago, was our biggest focus. So there I was working with public relations committee leader, and the guidelines are finished, and we will be presenting the details of it. But here we've been working on the brand guidelines, and also we revised some of the logos, and we finally established the department colors to be used inside departments.
Sorry to interrupt. Just to remind, you have 1 minute, and please wake up your neighbors again.
Okay. I'll also try to replicate. Then, after finishing and publishing the brand guidelines, we will be focused on the materials until the end of the mandate. And at the same time, increasing the awareness inside the local groups is very important. So that will be also something that we will be working on after publishing the brand guidelines fully. Then the fourth long-term objective focuses on the communication channels of Esteem, communicating what Esteem is doing, what Esteem's activities are. And one of the biggest, I would say, achievements or the focuses that we had this year is the Esteem podcast. We established a team and also been working on production of episodes. So far we had 5 episodes. And the other ones, we've been also working on videos and Esteem magazine, with the Esteem magazine team for blog, Esteem blog. And one point there is the LinkedIn and Instagram activity. So I already explained about podcast. Continuing with the Esteem blog, we have a Esteem blog, but in an outside resource, let's say, on Medium. And there, because it's another platform, it's not so available, and the activity we have is not that high right now. So we've been working on moving the Esteem blog to the Esteem portal, more on the WordPress pages. And we created the content. However, due to some technical problems, we couldn't publish the web page because we had some problems with the editing platform of WordPress. But it will be also something that we will be publishing very soon after council meeting. Continuing with communication channels a bit more, we've been working on the videos about this theme. Also for quite some time now, under Esteem videos. So what are they? Basically, videos.
Sorry to interrupt. People, could you stop talking in this general area? Let her speak, and if you could do it in 40 seconds, that would be amazing.
I'll try my best. Okay, so videos about Esteem basically focuses on different parts. One part is explaining what Esteem is doing to the externals or to people who are just being in contact with Esteem for a short time. And that's why there are more basic videos, short animation videos, and we've been working on those with local group Liège. Thanks to them, we will be publishing. Now we have already the videos, but they need a final revision, so it will be after CM. And the other part is Esteem tutorials, which is more for the Esteemers that want to learn more about the Esteem, that explains some of the practical information about the Esteem, which will be available only for Esteemers, not for externals. And the other part about social media or like the communication channels, because we had other focuses like blog, podcast, and the videos, I couldn't invest time as much as I wanted for Instagram and LinkedIn. And also we didn't have enough human resources to be able to work on those parts, unfortunately. Fifth objective is about the value proposition of Esteem, so understanding what is the value proposition of Esteem. Here, one of the actions we had is the awareness among entities and entity leaders. That's why we've started having some sessions, starting in the leaders workshop that happened a couple of days ago.
and we're planning to continue the sessions by improving according to the feedback. This is competitor analysis. However, doing a competitor analysis in a student NGO is not that easy because we don't have a market that we can actually get data from a specific resource. That's why one of the things that we came up with is to understand from the local groups if we are reaching our target group by analyzing different data that we already collect. So one of them is local group support system KPIs. They have, for instance, the amount of people that are recruited and the amount of people that are received in the universities each year. So how many, so comparing that to the information that we have, how many other student NGOs are active or like associations are in the university. So kind of comparing those and trying to conclude if we as an esteem is visible to the local groups. And finally, esteem uses analytical tools to track its reach was the final long-term objective here. And here the biggest focus was on the esteem portal. So for the visibility of the portal, visibility and usability are the two main areas that we focus. So for the visibility, we have the page visit numbers that we are tracking. Also, here we wanted to focus on the search engine optimization. So how esteem is visible when someone is searching for, I don't know, IAM students, organizations, student NGOs, etc. And there we made the analysis about how esteem is visible. But for the implementation part, we need to make some changes on the pages to make esteem more visible in the digital platforms. However, for that part, we needed more backend resources, let's say, to make changes on the portal. One of the plans is to move most of the pages from esteem portal to WordPress pages. And after we make that change, we will be able to implement the analysis that we concluded there. And finally, usability of the portal. After council meeting, after publishing the first version of the WordPress pages, the new pages, we will be with ITC, KFC, we will be working on the usability of the portal by creating an experiment team. So it will be to increase the usability of the portal and understand how we can improve when esteemers are trying to find something or trying to use portal. So that was it. Thank you for your attention. I think that's it.
Okay, people, let's have some questions. We have first the delegate here. Sorry, the delegate with the white shirt first. Okay, then never mind.
Okay, I'm David Barrero from Local Groups Build. I have about the branding and esteem and how you were analyzing the social media. There is guideline corporate, whatever about the esteem brand. Last
brand
time,
guidelines, you mean, right?
yes, it was written in 2018. Are you planning to change that guideline or to update it with the analysis?
Let's say, and we didn't specifically think about social media, as I said, because brand guidance focuses more on the general materials rather than share this or like reach this kind of target group on social media. So it's more broader. So that's why we didn't really use the analysis from there.
We do Arthur, delegate, and then Maria.
Arthur Michalczyk, LG Kaiserslautern. I was wondering about the analysis on the portal and the data in general. Like, do you have some insights there? So,
general analysis. Yeah, we have the numbers that we track. I would say almost always the usage increases because more people are joining, and yeah, we are being more crowded, let's say. So the portal usage is increasing, but yeah, we haven't compared to the past.
Okay, then we have the delegate.
Okay, Andrea Di Felice from LG Milan. My question is about the new format of Esteem Talks, and why is it no more like an online short event, and it's rather a presentation for anyone to use, as far as I understand?
One of the main reasons why we didn't continue with the online short sessions was because the decrease in the interest to the online activities, which was a decision we took after seeing the Get Active chats didn't attract many people that happened playing or like using the presentations. That is our focus right now rather than the online sessions.
Okay, thank you. Is there two? Can you make it very short, Sarat? Thank you. And then we have Maria and then the delegate in the front.
Serhat Gülgen Yatağı, LG Ankara Bilkent. You mentioned a decrease in Get Active chats, and you said like it's due to Esteem Talks, I guess. But
Clarification, no, I didn't say it's because of Esteem Talks, but in general, the interest, the online chats, online activities decreased, especially about Esteem, because people can already access those with their local groups or with events they attend offline.
Oh, so they're not related in your opinion?
No.
Okay.
It was the conclusion after seeing.
Hello, Maria Gizeboglu, local group Piraeus. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. Especially for the delegates, could you please elaborate a little bit more on the difference between WordPress and the portal, how it is now and how it's planned to look in the future?
We have it too, I guess David can go.
Hi, I'm David Barrero from LXIV. So the idea, actually, we presented that already in CN Civil, but the idea is to move the portal to WordPress. So Steam.core will be the WordPress, and portal will be just for even a local group, and will be like more such a internal stuff.
Okay, thank you. So right now, just for the delegates, not for me, the portal is mainly for events and has all the materials, but WordPress is more internal, right?
Right now, the way it is, yes, but since WordPress is easier to use and make changes because the portal is the part where we have the backend stuff and where the actual coding is happening. Right now, whenever we want to change something on the main page, it needs to go through a lot of processes and coding. So it's not really practical for us because, we don't have enough resources or like human.
So I may have to ask if you can write it to Pigeonhole, and Senna, if you can check Pigeonhole in a bit.
Tamer Yazan, LG Ankara Miltu. My question is related to the portal, precisely the ergonomics of accessing the portal on a mobile level. Has there ever been talk of implementing a shortcut or an app per se for accessing the portal on a mobile level? If yes, could you update us? If no, why?
As far as I remember, this was tried in the past, but right now, it wasn't one of the focuses of this year because right now we are more focused on actually moving some of the pages to WordPress. So, for instance, after moving the pages, most of the pages to WordPress, it will be easier to use also on mobile because the editing platform or WordPress allows streamers or like everyone to have a mobile data easier to use rather than our actual portal right now.
Thank you.
Okay. No, we don't really have time for it, so I would ask if you can add it to Pigeonhole. And I'm sorry, people, this will happen pretty often, but yeah, time constraints the only reason. The clarification needed? Strongly needed? No, thank you. Okay. Then, thank you, Senna. And now we have point 17. So open point 17, technical. Can somebody give a microphone to the delegates here?
Yeah. Regarding technicality.
Can you just name and surname?
Sarkter, Eindhoven. And regarding technicality, the Wi-Fi is not willing to cooperate, so the Pigeonhole is not really working fairly.
As for the question that I asked to add to Pigeonhole, you can do it at any point, and then you get the answer from the people that are presenting. But we need connection, so if please some organizers can help us with that and maybe approach to understand what's the problem.
All right.
Yeah, do we have any organizer?
I think just the Wi-Fi is not in a good state.
Yeah, too many people maybe.
Yeah,
could be. Yes. Okay, we'll try to do something in the lunch. All right, then we have, I open agenda point 17, voting procedure, and I ask the voting committee to join on stage.
Hi.
Just a moment, we have a technical. Can you give the whatever? Yes. It's a problem with the streaming? Hello? Yes, can you tell the streaming responsible? There is a problem with the streaming with the sound, correct? Yes. Yes.
So, hi everyone. Now we will explain how to vote in the voting sheets because we have. You can hear me. Okay. We have a little procedure to do. For that, we have a little presentation to show you. During the next coffee break, we will have the first voting session. We need to vote in the coffee break, so pay attention to the time, please.
So here's how the procedure is going. So it will be online. I don't know, maybe like it was last semester, with like online voting sheets. You probably all got emails in the last days, and I hope everything worked out fine. So you're supposed to get one delegate. Yeah, one thing. One delegate from each group. So don't wonder like you had like put on 2 emails into the form. You're only supposed to get 1, and you will probably only get 1. So check both of them if you entered 2. And yeah, exactly. And you will get an e-voting link by an email to vote for the applications, like I just said. And get an extra link so they can vote twice, one for themselves and one for the proxy local group. And yeah, last thing, really important, guest and observer groups cannot vote. So if you don't get a link, don't wonder. It's like supposed to be like this if you're a guest or observer group. And yes.
Okay. For start, we will explain how to vote yes or no questions because we have 2 types of questions: the yes or no, or the questions by preference. Next, we will explain that. For the yes or no questions, you will have 3 options: yes, no, or abstain. The voting ballot is like that. You will receive something like that in the first voting session in the next one. But the first one will be like that, and you need to choose one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
If you choose like verify your selection,
like this, it will be wrong because you have to choose an option. And like I said, there is an abstain option. So the correct one is to say, I mean, no. But if you're not sure about your decision, don't just verify your selection. Just press on abstain, and everything will be fine. Okay. Yeah. So.
The other way that you need to vote, there is the preference vote, is to vote in candidates because we have a lot of options, and there can be the name of the candidates, the reopen nomination, and in some cases, in cases of services, you have the not continue the service. To that one, you will need to put the order into what you want the candidates or the options.
So yeah, and the last one, indifference about the topic can be shown by leaving the vote blank, not by voting. Yeah, I will say later, not by voting giving all the same rank. Here, for example, like you have for the big throne, you have candidate Yogi Bear, candidate Winnie Pooh, and candidate Tiki Winky, and the option reopen nomination is included as a candidate on the ballot. You will see this; it will be just one of the ticks you can make. And here, as you can see, and maybe you'll see something that is wrong. That it's all the one, so yeah, it won't work. So you can see, like it's described on the bottom at the top, like one would be most preferred, two next preferred, and so on. And if you're indifferent, just leave the vote blank, like the reopen nations here. And yeah, a correct ballot work, then it should all be fine. Yeah. So.
Okay, when you vote for projects or services, is this the thing that I said before? You have the option that do not continue the project or do not continue the service, but works in the same way like before.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
So you don't need to state every preferences that you have. You can say either like only one or only 1, 2 or only all 1, 2, 3. So it should be also okay. You don't need to write all the 1, 2, 3. So you don't need to rank everything.
Yeah.
We have a technical from the back, I think.
Johannes LXIV, could you please explain the preferential voting? Because I think a lot of the delegates don't actually know what it means.
Okay, I can try to do it again. Like, as it always has been, voting for candidates, meaning putting them in an order, like which one you would like most to have this position, which the second one, and which the third one. That's also how it used to be when we had with sheets, and now it's also offered in this online voting system. So you see here, you're requested to put your most favorite position candidate in the top for 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, so this will be for position voting or candidate voting. Yeah, you could also say like first person, second is reopen nomination, third and third option is again a person.
You can say that, for example, first Tinky Winky, second reopen nominations, and leave the other ones empty. You don't need to put all of the numbers. Just repeat again.
Okay. Wait, can we continue? Wait. Whoops. What is counting? Is this?
Okay, about the counting procedure, we will explain a little how to work, how we do the votes and how we count it.
Okay. Yeah, like this is just simply how it works. We do voting on the different candidates, and he needs to have an absolute majority, which means 50% of more than 50% of the votes. So not only the most votes. So does he have a majority? If yes, the winner is found. If not, we need to eliminate the candidates with the least votes, and it will be redone. So yeah, like in the optimal case, it will be like there's 2 options in the end. There is more likely going to be an absolute majority in the end. So yeah, we can find a winner. And yeah, there are different.
Okay, about the majorities required, there isn't every time 50%. There is 50% of majority required in, for example, projects and service leaders, for approval the budget, from the council meeting applications, from the discharge of the previous board, from the local hero nominations, and from estimators of the year nominations.
So this is more generally the case. And the 2/3 majority is more for specific cases, which is more like this is more of an exception. Like if a local group is going to be excluded, it's going to be voted with a 2/3 majority. Observership approved, membership or membership of the local group approval 2/3, and also the internal regulation changes. Bullshit. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so here 2/3. Yeah, of course, we are always here. You also got via the emails or phone numbers. You can always contact us if there are any questions. We will break afterwards. So yeah, we will probably get the mails sent to you in the next minutes. It might take a little more because there were some complications with the proxies, but you should get them. If something really doesn't work out, just contact us. I think that's a technical question.
We have a technical yes from the delegates.
Hello, Matthias Junttila, LG Lappeenranta. Is electronic voting a viable option with the absolute lack of internet connection currently?
Yeah, we will hold contact with the organizers, so you will get it will of course only count if it all works with the internet.
The answer to the technical from Nicola.
Yeah, Nicola?
Organizers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably because a lot of people are connected on this one Wi-Fi. That's the reason why we have problems with connection. But you can approach organizers when you go out because a lot of us can share internet for you. So just talk with the people from organizing team and they will share the internet for you.
Here we are already in the realm of questions. So is the presentation over?
Yes.
Okay, then we have just a couple of minutes for questions. We have one in the back, and then Francisca from the delegates, and then Sarat.
Hugo Bueno, local group Madrid. It was related to the internet, at least from my experience. It doesn't work here, but outside it does work.
Thank you, Francisca.
Francisca Trigueiros, LG Porto. I was wondering what is your plan in case the reopen nominations wins for any of the applications for leadership or board positions. Will we have an extra voting session besides what is currently planned in the agenda, or will the General Assembly finish without a leader or the position filled?
Is the question to the board?
Yes, I can answer. If we don't have absolute winning candidates from an election, there may be a Q&A session again for the candidates, and there will be another voting session.
Thank you.
Yeah. Serhat Gülgen Yatağı, LG Ankara Bikent. My question is a kind of technical one. If reopen nomination is the winning vote, can the already applying person reapply, or they can't apply? Okay.
Okay. Are there any questions or doubts on how to vote? No? Then, oh, yes? Yes. Question there in the back.
Robert Sestro, LG Berlin. Yeah, the question was that is it a viable option to vote? Like, do we have all infrastructure needed to vote physically if the online part, either due to Wi-Fi problems, or I mean, we can't all go outside to vote, or yeah, is it a viable option to vote physically?
To vote physically, we would need to print the voting sheet, so it's going to take quite much time and going to require some changes in the agenda. Since organizers can share their own internet, it is just a process of like one minute or two. So it should...
Thank you. Can you make it the shortest two of history? Thank you. What? You can use the microphone.
I can also share my internet.
Oh, lovely of you. The hero we deserve. Second shortest two on history, please. But make it the first time.
Maybe the organizers can all, maybe the organizers can all open their hotspots and remove passwords from their hotspots so that everyone can just join everyone.
I think this is too much. Let's see if we have a problem. We see how to fix it. In the meanwhile, can you say name and surname and local group for our secretaries?
Nicola Philip, LG Bremen.
Thank you very much. All right, then thank you to the voting committee. And now I will need Dasha and the MC leader to the stage for a little clarification. And then we have lunch and voting session. Clarification?
What is on the screen? Nothing.
It's coming.
We can make a photo with break. Yeah, let's put something up temporarily. You have
Like the thumbnail you talked about. Yes, okay.
Hey people, we are almost done.
Okay, guys, so as we're going to vote on the proposal, we wanted just to clarify once again, and for that I would ask Asim to join me on stage to clarify firstly how the warnings are counted in Asim, and then we're going to explain again the proposal. So
yeah, so this will just be because, yeah, it's just to give you, like, make some clarifications and explain you briefly on how our membership regulations are working normally. So we have 5 different LG requirements. One is regarding event participation, so having at least 5 different tracks, organizing. Council meetings. So these are counted in a way that's every 28 days before the council meeting. LRs receive an email. We are checking these, we are counting these, and then we send local responsibles a mail regarding if the local group will receive a warning in the council meeting or not. And yeah, we say always 3 consecutive warnings leads to a proposal for exclusion. And what we mean with consecutive warning is basically getting warnings in a row. So if you have warnings in 3 council meetings in a row, then you get proposed for exclusion. So what happened with this proposal was that in council meeting civil, we only wanted to overrule these 3 requirements. But then there was a mistake in the voting sheets, and all looked like all requirements, also the other 2, were overruled. And the consequence of this is basically that we cannot use it as negative warnings anymore. That leaves us to, so like the proposal is basically, in very simple words, to fix the voting sheets in civil and have the normal order of consecutive warnings. So having Belgrade, civil, and the last online council meeting. So this proposal is regarding that. Yes.
Yeah, so basically the main idea behind that is that we don't want to count warnings for council meeting from Augusta because it's been super long time ago and the situation of the local group is completely different right now. So we propose to fix the result, to fix the situation which happened in Seville, and for the only those requirements which we originally proposed to overrule to be overruled, and not all of them.
But yeah, if you still have maybe questions, we can, I think it will be clear, but if it's, is it more clear now, or do you still have some parts that is confusing? Okay.
So once again, if the proposal will be accepted, we're going to count warnings for council meeting Belgrade, council meeting Seville, and the last online council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Now we have voting session 1 and lunch. At which time do they have to come back?